Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. I had some questions already about the video that I did prior as far as building our youth. A lot of questions were about my journey and like with my son and how I feel about raising a boy. When I first had my son, again, the partner that we choose has already been aligned. So sorry, I fixed myself. There we go. The partner that that we choose to have, we do not choose to have our children by the certain people. I know that there's been a lot of different people that can agree with this. The person that they're like, I want to have a baby by, they end up not being able to get pregnant. And then they get pregnant by, Tom down the street. And they're like, why did I get pregnant by this person? That's something that we have to work on, better women, us choosing the right people to have children by, because again, what we're doing to our society when we're having children and not being with the person that we have children by is now doing a broken house or a broken family. There was a guy that had said, the way to break up a black household is to break up the black woman. So a lot of times, us black women, we're so big on being independent and being able to get in on our own that we are not realizing that a lot of times we do tear down our men. We tear them down and we make them feel like they're not needed, when in all reality they are needed. They are needed. They are needed for raising our boys. They're needed for raising our girls. Coming from where my father was not a part of my life and just seeing the imbalance that I had with not knowing myself and completely not knowing myself, because my mom is white and my dad is black. So not knowing myself or where I fit in as far as like what background I have really took a toll on me. Going through school, I felt like I was never accepted from one group. From white people, I felt like I wasn't accepted, and then from the black side I felt like I was not accepted. So I always lived where I was just out of balance. I was out of whack, and I never understood or never truly loved myself, because no one else, I was always looking for acceptance from someone else, instead of looking within. Again, this is something that we live, and we live through experiences. But a lot of times we have noticed that us women, we put men down, and we say that if they don't want to be a father, fuck it, like they don't have to be a father, and I can do it on my own. And that is where we fuck up, because just because your relationship with that person did not work out does not mean that it's not an importance for us to work it out for the kids' sake. Somebody told me when I first had my son that well, I did it. I raised my kids by myself, and I was able to do it. And their dad wasn't a part of their lives, and I did it. And then I look back, and I'm like, well, now your boys will have have children, and they look at it like, my mom did it, she was a single mom, she made it, we're all right. So that was accepted instead of being corrected. So again, we are accepting things without correcting things. We need to correct it. It is not okay to be a single mom. It's not okay to be a single dad. A child needs both parents in the household. We need to work stronger, build a union, and break this curse. Back in the 70s, they started locking our men up, and where the Democrats or people, I don't want to get into politics, but the system was built where if you live on Section 8, that you couldn't have a man in the house making an income. let's really regroup that. If you live in a house that you cannot have a man's income or you'll get put out, what does that say? What is that telling us women? Like, it's telling them that you cannot be with this man because you're not going to have a place to live. You're going to lose your Section 8. You're going to lose, where you and your children live at. So women are on a survival mode, and saying, the guys don't live, the guy is not living here, or the guy doesn't live here because I'm going to lose my place. So we need to stop the system from breaking us, guys. We need to stop the system, and we need to stand up. Men, you need to stand up and be the best men that you can possibly have. If your father was not a part of your life, I'm so sorry. Like, I experienced the same thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of my subscribers experienced the same thing. But it's time to make this generation curse go away. Just because your mom was able to be a single mom, you have issues. You have issues with dependency. Most men are depending on women because their mothers were always there to, help them, or their mothers were always there to, provide for them, when in reality that's not how it's supposed to be. Women, we are able to make a house a home, but the man is able to build the home. Go ahead and put that in your mind. A man is able to build the home. Women, we can make the inside of the house a home, but we can't build it. So, think about that. Let that manifest. Let that grow in your mind. And I'm diving deep, you guys. This channel is going to be deep. I love you all. I respect you all. But we need to speak the truth, and we need to wake each other up. And, instead of blaming each other, instead of, using these things as crutches, let's change it. Let's make a difference let's make a difference that our generation has been cursed with. A lot of times, people born in the 90s, there was a huge drug epidemic that was happening in the 80s, where the family was split. So we are pretty much one of the first, or the generation before us, like our grandparents, they're the ones that had 12 kids and their husbands and wives, they were in the same house and stuff like that. But then the drugs happened with our family, with our parents, and now you see the family split. So now, we're dealing with split family homes. So we're trying to, learn and understand from coming from a different world than our parents came from. And, sometimes we're noticing that we're repeating the same cycle by having children with men that, that we're not going to be with. And, having children and, putting the father down, or, breaking the father instead of building the father. I chose to have a child by who I chose to have a child by. And all I do is encourage him. I encourage him. I don't say that, he's a bad father. I don't tell him that he could do things better. He knows what he can do better. He knows, my son will know who his father is. There will be nobody that could replace his father. And, I was always questioned by, one of my boyfriends, like, why do you give, the benefit of your son seeing his father all the time when, if he doesn't want to be a part? And at the end of the day, I lacked having a father. So instead of me breaking him by taking my child away from him, I'm going to build him. I'm going to build him, and I'm going to make him, understand the importance of being a father. So I love you all. Please, please, please understand this channel is about learning and growing. I am not perfect. Nobody is perfect. We're human. We make errors. We make decisions. But the only thing is, we need to learn from our decisions, and we need to build each other. Let's build each other back again. All right? I love you all.